Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate. And it does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, real estate has been clouded with all kinds of uncertainty since the Fed started raising interest rates. Some people decided to sit on the sidelines and not buy. Tell us why waiting to buy a home might not be the best strategy.
Well, Richard, despite the fact that the Fed's efforts to control inflation is to go after the housing market by raising interest rates. And it probably isn't just mortgage interest rates. It's the way the banks get money. It's a little bit of everything. So I can see them trying to slow it down. But the truth is, there's a lot of factors involved with overall real estate markets right now. And we're going to cover some interesting trends that actually show you that real estate right now is a great investment. It's not a get rich quick thing, though. You have to be in it for the long haul. That's the key. Is a lot of people think, just a couple of days ago, I had somebody call and go, "Oh, I bought it a month ago. I need to sell it." I'm like, "What?" It takes some time to build up that increase in value. Okay, so the number one trend that has transformed real estate completely is house hunting has gone very digital. In other words, we know 99% of the buyers eliminate homes right there on their phone, right there in their fuzzy bunny slippers in less than 1 minute looking at the pictures. So you have to hire an agent that knows how to get that right. So there's all kinds of things that the buyers can find out without ever driving by. They can see the virtual tours if there's a virtual tour. They can see the pictures, the videos. They can go to Google Maps and see what's around it. They can see all kinds of stuff. Now we have things like virtual staging where we don't actually have to put furniture in. We can digitally put furniture in and it looks real. We can also digitally extract things like clutter without anybody knowing. And we're doing that to get the buyers to come. Now, just put that in perspective of when I first started in real estate back in the 90s and probably all the way through 2010 to 2015, the imagery wasn't good enough for the buyers to make a decision about buying a home or even looking at a home without going by and getting inside of it. That has really changed probably in the last 5 years. And so now what's happening is if it gets presented poorly online, the buyers aren't even bothering to drive by or even put that home on their must-see list. So everything has to align properly. The promotion, the marketing, the pricing, the presentation, all of those things have to be perfect in order for you to get top dollar and have a timely on-time sale. And if it's not aligned, the market is going to tell you pretty quickly within the first 30 days. You'll be able to tell with very few showings that you're not right in your pricing or your promotion. You'll be able to tell if you have plenty of showings, but there's no offer, you're off by a certain percentage point. Or if you're getting offers, you might be okay, but if they're lowball offers, you're still not at the right price. So all it takes is just sometimes a little bit of tweaking to make this work. And, I can tell you that a majority of the agents out there don't really maintain proficiency necessarily on what's going on in the market. And I think part of it is they don't necessarily have an opportunity. Not every real estate agent treats it like a full-time business. We know from the stats that over 81% of the agents sell 3 or less homes a year. Okay. I could make more money serving fast food than selling 3 or less homes a year. So that tells me that they're probably not really paying close attention to what's going on in the market. So they kind of bite on stuff in the news. Oh, the rates are high and fewer buyers can afford homes, so the market's slowing down. But that's definitely not the case. And it was really true for me. Just a few months ago, I sold a really beautiful home close to UCCS. And I don't know where this agent was coming from, but her buyer wrote this really low offer asking for a huge amount of concessions. And the initial response of the seller was, well, at first they countered because I encouraged the seller. I said, all offers are good. If that's the only choice that you have, go ahead and counter and tell them what you will accept. So that's what we did. We countered at a reasonable price. They even gave them a concession. And the response back from the agent was, because the deadline came and went and they didn't sign it. And so I reached out to the agent and said, hey, what's the status? Is your buyer interested in that counter? And she goes, no. And that's a really crappy counter offer.
Jeez.
And I'm like, oh my God. So you're thinking your buyer is entitled to a huge price discount and a huge concession. That was sort of the message that she gave to me. And I'm like, okay, have a nice day. And sure enough, about, I don't know, 7 days later, the buyer came back and said, okay, you're right. It's a good price. We can't find anything else we like. And we actually put that deal together and closed it. But could you imagine saying that to someone, Richard?
That's not how I would negotiate, but I'd remind the listeners that they don't teach bargaining, negotiating, or marketing when you get your real estate license. You only get that because somebody like you has experience.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, move on. We'll get another buyer. It doesn't matter to me. So some of the trends that are happening right now is that overall, because many buyers now can work from home either partially or all the time, right? So they're moving out of the urban areas. They're moving away from the traditional office space. And generally the wealthy are moving by choice. The increase in population has had an impact on this market. And so has the mobility that we saw as a result of COVID. People are like, okay, well, I can work from home. I can live anywhere. That's awesome. My sister-in-law moved to Southern Florida. She just loves it, but she gets to work from home in her fuzzy bunny slippers. And so 75% of the population growth in the past 10 years has moved to the Sun Belt, all the southern climates. And then what's going on around here? One thing that surprised me, there's some stats on realtor.com that indicate what counties are people moving from to get to this county. And so I was really surprised to find the top county was coming from Maricopa County in Arizona. And then the next 2 or 3 counties were actually coming from Denver. And Denver swaps kind of very similar to that in that the Denver counties are coming generally from Arizona or other places kind of nearby counties, basically. So my name is Barb Schlinker. I'm with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team. And I'm also the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about the top real estate trends and how this market is changing. And when we come back, we're going to hit on what are the real estate trends that home buyers and sellers should do to prepare for their next move. And if you are thinking of making a move, you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com. There's all kinds of free reports on there. If you're not ready right now, it gives you lots of good information like this that you can use going forward. Also, and if you'd like our help, that's what we do. We give people a free in-home consultation on what to do, what not to do to get their house ready for sale. We'll go over all the closing costs and give them a really good idea what their home will sell for. Plus, we'll share with them some of our 27,511 buyers, many of which could be interested in their home. So if you are interested in that free in-home consultation, go to barbhasthebuyers.com or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker. This is Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb's the proprietor of that and the host of this program, Your Real Estate Voice. If you're interested in selling, you want to give Barb a call, 719-301-3900. And we're talking, Barb, about the top trends that show real estate is, in fact, a great investment. What should home buyers and sellers do to prepare if they are planning on making a move?
Well, I would say that the one fact that you need to keep in mind is this is not a buyer's market. Now, it depends on the house. If the house has been sitting on the market a long time, it has the potential of maybe you getting a discount on it. However, the truth is the inventory is still very, very low. I actually pulled some stats from last month for the Pikes Peak region. The number of available homes at the beginning of September were 2,420 homes. The number of available homes at the beginning of September in 2018 were 2,414. So almost identical. Yet the population has grown well over 20% to include Gen Xers, millennials, even Gen Zs, the younger guys and gals are buying homes right now. So, you know, people that had those low interest rates are staying put. So that's another factor that absolutely affects the low inventory. So if you do have the resources to buy a home, don't wait around. It's going to just get more expensive for the next decade. The volume of new listings is down by 25% from just a year ago, and it keeps being about the same. The average days on market continues to be very, very low. Now, why do we care about this? The average days on market gives you a clue as to whether or not you're either in a seller's market, meaning seller has the advantage, or you're in a buyer's market, meaning the buyer has the advantage and they can get price cuts and concessions and all kinds of stuff. And so the traditional wisdom that if the average days on market runs over 90 days, then we're in more of an even or buyer's market. But we haven't seen days on market over 90 days, probably since the 90s. So I don't think it's a buyer's market right now. I'm very sure it's a seller's market, but you still, to get a sale, all the buyers are going to be looking at what they can get in their price range. So you need somebody that really helps you to decide what is the proper price. And that's part of what we do. And the big surprise for people is that the average and the median price are continuing to rise over the long term. Everybody was expecting with the Fed, when the Fed kept stepping on the gas, raising interest rates, that the prices would correspondingly go down. Well, that was true in 2022. It's not true in 2023, and it's not going to be going forward unless they make a substantial, steep increase in interest rates, in my opinion, because the prices continue to rise. We're within 1% of where we were at the absolute boom when the going rates were 3%. The volume of sales, though, are dropping because it's less affordable for those first-time home buyers. But one thing that's surprising to me is that new construction made a really smart move and stepped in and just grabbed up some of that market share. So the MLS stats that we see, new construction may not be wholly represented there because the builders don't put every single home that they have available on the market. And if they sell it, they just don't put it in the MLS. So if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to get some information about what to do, what not to do to get your house ready for sale, how to price your home realistically to get top dollar, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com, barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about how to receive the highest price when you are selling your home. Barb will tell you how to do that when we come back